Okay, so in this video we're taking a little look at some algebra notation. We're trying to make sense of algebra notation. X is called a variable. It's an unknown number. X clearly is a letter of the alphabet, but in algebra we don't consider it as a letter. We're interested in it as an unknown number. X is an unknown number. We call it a variable. So x is a variable. In that case, something like 6x means 6 multiplied by x. If x was 2, or is 2, then 6x is the same as writing 6 multiplied by 2, which is 12. Remember that brackets, or as the Americans call them, parentheses, they mean multiplication. So brackets mean multiplication in all areas of maths and algebra. So this is multiplication, so is this, and we tend to forget that sometimes. So 6x means 6 multiplied by x. So if x is equal to 5, 6x then becomes 6 multiplying 5 is 30. So this means 6 multiplying x. 6 multiplying the unknown number. If we know it's 5, 6 by 5 is 30. One last example. If x is minus 2, 6x is then 6 multiplied by minus 2. That's minus 12. So it's 6 by 2 is 12, and a plus by a minus is minus in maths. Always. So in the last couple of minutes we've seen x as a variable or an unknown number. We've also seen that 6x means 6 multiplied by our unknown number, multiplied by the x, 6 by x, 6 by the unknown number. Another thing that we need to know is that 1x is the same as x. One x equals x, and that's equal to a plus x. These mean the same thing. There's always an invisible plus. If we can't see a sign, there's an invisible plus. One x is not the same as minus x. So 1x is the same as x because they're both positive. There's an invisible plus. Here we show it. But if we can see a sign, well, we can see that that's negative. That's clearly not equal to our 1x. The 1x has an invisible plus that we've just shown. What about x over 5? It's a fraction. And all fractions mean division. So this is really saying x divided by 5. The fraction means the exact same thing as our division here. X divided by 5 is the same as this. So an example, if x is 100, then our x over 5 becomes 100 over 5. 100 over 5 means 100 divided by 5, we're talking 20. So the fraction means division in algebra, just like any other part of maths. Fractions always mean division. X over 5 means our unknown number is being divided by 5. 3x plus 2x is equal to 5x. The plus is telling us add. It's quite easy. We've got 3 times an unknown plus 2 times an unknown. That's the same as having 5 of the same unknown. So these unknowns are the same. If I wanted to say that this unknown was different to this unknown, I would need to use a different symbol. Here we have 3x plus 2y. It's similar to the question above in that we have an unknown times 3, just like here, and an unknown times 2, just like here. The difference is these two unknowns have a different value. I don't know the value of x, I don't know the value of y, but I will assume that x has a different value to y. Up here, we're using the same symbol, so it's fair to assume that this symbol has the same value as this symbol. If we see different symbols though, it's understood that they have different values. Let's take a look. If x equals 7, our expression up here means 3 multiplied by 7 plus 2 multiplied by 7. We know that is 21 plus 14, that is 35. So we know the answer should be 35. The answer should be 35. Will it work if we have 5 times the variable? So 3 times the variable plus 2 times the variable is 5 times the variable. Is 5 by 7 equal to 35? Yes. So we can do this in algebra because we can do it with regular numbers. If we couldn't do it with regular numbers, then we couldn't do it with algebra. Algebra should be a system that makes sense. It should be a system that represents what you can do with real numbers, with natural numbers, with integers. If we can't do it here with our real numbers, we can't do it in algebra. However, of course, we can do it with real numbers, therefore we can do it in algebra. So far we've seen x as a variable. You can also call it an unknown. We've seen that a number multiplying the x means means the number 6 in this case, multiplied by our unknown number. We call the 6 a coefficient. We've seen that 1x is the same as x. We also saw that both of these are positive. We've seen that x over 5 means our unknown number is being divided by 5. We've seen that we can add them. Powers like x squared, maybe x cubed, they're very, very common. So here we have x squared, x to the power 2, x squared, or x to the power 2. What does that mean? Well, it means there are 2 x's and they're multiplying. It means x multiplied by x. It means our unknown is being multiplied by itself. There are 2 of them. Another common term to meet is x squared. What does it mean? It means x multiplied by x. So x squared is equal to x multiplied by x. So x squared is equal to x times x. So if we have x equals 8, our x squared becomes 8 squared. And that just means 8 multiplied by 8, it's 64. So again we're seeing that the algebra means the same thing as it did with our real numbers. And 8 squared means 8 by 8, or x squared means x by x. 6x squared equals 6 times x times x. They're all multiplying. X is a variable or an unknown number. 6x means 6 multiplied by our unknown number. 1x is the same as x, they're both positive. You can also remember that minus x is the same as minus 1x. X over 5, this fraction, means our unknown number is being divided by 5. Looking at an expression like this, it's quite a common expression. 6x squared minus 3x plus 5. Our first term is the 6x squared, often called the squared term. That means 6 multiplied by x multiplied by x. All three are multiplying. The second term, it's minus 3x, often called the x term. That just means minus 3 multiplying x. The third term, often called a constant, it's plus 5. So this is referred to as the constant because it has no variable, has no unknown number multiplying it. So even if the value of x changes, the value of this term will never change. On the other hand, if the value of x changes, this term changes, and the value of this term changes. So these have variable terms in them. We call the minus 3 the coefficient of x. We call the 6 the coefficient of x squared. So that word coefficient is important. The number multiplying x squared is referred to as the coefficient of x squared. The number, in this case minus 3, multiplying x is referred to as the coefficient of x. So we see we have a positive coefficient here, plus 6x, sorry, plus 6 I should say. And we have a negative coefficient here, minus 3.